Hey y'all, Wyatt Abrachinsky here, and I'm going to show you how I build one of my WA Faultline octave fuzz pedals today. So the main takeaway about Faultline is I'm still making each one of them by hand. As you see, they're undrilled from the factory. And then I have a special 3D printed jig that I'll go through and make my marks for the foot switch, the LED, the top jacks, and so on. And then I'll follow it up, as you'll see, with the center punch and drill it out. This is sort of one of those precise parts, but the center punch basically goes right over the pencil marks and it'll put an indentation so my drill doesn't slip when I do the manual pilot holes. Once the pilot holes are made, I'll just come in with my drill and knock everything out. And when I do one side, I'll come through and clean it with a paintbrush, just try to get any of those little particles off so it doesn't scratch. And once that's done, I'll go through, do the top jacks, the power jack, and then you'll see clean everything off really well again before I bring it to the drill press. Little motion sickness warning for you, but here I'm just securing the pedal in a vise and getting it ready for my drill press. The speed and everything has been set, so I just knock it out with a step drill, boom, 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 nice light pressure, and we're done. So here's the finished product, and then I'll come through and do one last final clean. And now that the drilling's done, I'll start populating the printed circuit board, and I'll start with the tinier components like resistors and diodes. So here I'm going to be doing some soldering for you all. I start with the diodes, the protection diode for the power supply, and then I'll go through our little hybrid arrangement. Got to work quick because I work with high heat. I don't want to damage the circuit board or any kind of components here. So you see a lot of smoke, you'll see a lot of action, a lot of movement, and then at the end of everything, I just clip the leads out. So this next part's more for the pedal nerds, but it shows how much time it takes to sort of build Faultline in general. I had to hand measure and test the quality transistors to get this circuit to work properly. Right? It's a very temperamental, unique, vintage-inspired circuit, and modern components have tighter tolerances than things of the past. So here I am measuring a quad out, making sure that we have the perfect balance for the ring mod and the fuzz. And then here's a time lapse of me finishing the pedal in real time. I'm just populating the board, and then I'll flip it over, add some hardware like the foot switch, the LED, and then the potentiometers. Pretty time consuming. Probably takes me about 2 hours to build each pedal, maybe 2.5 hours when I'm not doing each step in one day. Usually I'll triage and I'll do 5 enclosures one day, then I'll do 5 PCBs, and then I'll do one day of just assembling everything. Still a one-man army, so you know, it takes time, but I like to keep the quality control high. I test everything very thoroughly, just make sure there's no inconsistencies, that every pedal has the same sound, voltage. We do use germanium, so some people in different areas of the world might have a little different experience, so just trying to keep everything consistent. You know, good math goes a long way. And then the trickiest part about building Faultline is coming right up around here. And that's when I have to basically mount the PCB to the chassis. The way I designed the PCB is such a tight tolerance that the foot switch, the LED housing, and the LED itself, along with all 4 pots, have to line up perfectly. And so you'll see that's kind of like one of the reasons I offboard things. There's a couple fly-out wires, just so I have like a little give, but it keeps the pedal reliable, sturdy. If something breaks, it's easy for me to just drop it out, drop in a new board, no fuss. And here's the final product, all assembled, buttoned up, and ready for testing. So once Faultline survives the demo test, then I start putting on knobs or any additional hardware requests, and the pedal's good to go. And I sign it, date it, box it up, goes out to you. Once more, thank you so much for supporting me and my pedals, and we'll see you in the future.